All right, so I just got done with the first half of season 2 of JJK, and boy, you guys did not warn me. The Shibuya incident arc elevates this series so much higher than a lot of the more recent ones, and I understand why people like it now. I finished season 1 and I wasn't super duper excited. I liked it a lot. It was fine, but it was not living up to the hype yet, and I think if the series was reordered a little bit, I think I would like it a little bit better earlier on. But um really pulled it out. There's so much stuff to go over. I don't even know where to start. I'm going to mess a lot of names up. It's been a little bit since I watched the first half of season 2. It's been a couple weeks. The other two videos I did refresh my brain, but we're going to go through it anyway. First, I didn't mention in my season 1 recap the fact that when they brought up Mechamaru's backstory, I kind of really didn't care. I made that video pretty short, but they brought up Mechamaru. I didn't care. Season 2 starts. We start with an entirely different show. We start with the Gojo flashback and just start with a brand new show. I still don't know how I feel about that, but it was really good for what it was. Then we move into Mechamaru stuff, and Mechamaru, they made me care about him, and I like the fact he was a traitor. Him being a traitor makes sense 100%. And in the short window they gave us with him, they gave us a compelling story. His backstory makes sense. Why he betrayed them makes sense, and then him, being in his head a double agent, like, oh, I'm gonna betray them, but then I'll fix it, right? And having a crush on the samurai girl, I like that too. And then he just bit off a little bit more than he could chew. These cursed demons, these special grade demons, are no joke, even with his Evangelion mech. Now the Shibuya incident. Oh boy, the Shibuya incident is everything the Konoha Crush arc should have been, and it's everything the fake Katakura Town arc in Bleach should have been, where the Sorry Purge were warring against the Rancars in Ichigo's like hometown. The Shibuya incident is what both of those arcs should have been, and what helps it is I think it's relatively shorter than both of those other two arcs. I'd have to like look back at kind of the episode counts, and it's more impactful. Like, from my perspective as a viewer, and we'll talk about Gojo getting captured here in a second. From my perspective as a viewer, they're doomed. Sukin is a problem. Like, they need to kill him immediately. Like, they cannot let Sukuna do anything. They gotta put him away. And now it's like the tension in the show has ratcheted up, because now we have this ticking time bomb where we thought that our main characters or Gojo would be strong enough to have like kind of final battle situation with Sukuna. But now we're like, oh, all these other demons are just as much of a problem, and Sukuna is even more of a problem than we ever thought he was. This show has really elevated itself, has now put itself above kind of like Black Clover and some of the more recent shows. I have to see how the series ends. I know a lot of people say they don't like how it ends, but I tend to like. I'm pretty generous on the endings on the show. I'm sure people will kind of soften up on it as time goes by, and the show will only get better and better as it ages. And I like the fact that the show is simple. The power system is simple. It's kind of like a mix of JoJo and Bleach a little bit, where you kind of like the base power set, and then each character gets their own individual specific power, with whether it's like the summoning jutsus or the doll chick. She has her voodoo doll situation. They also said, what is that girl's name? The one that doesn't have powers, use weapons. Maki. I think that's her name. They set her ass on fire. I got spoiled from that. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but I got spoiled the fact that she was gonna get injured to have a character change and aesthetic change by kind of looking up stuff about the show. But boy, even knowing that was going to happen, it was still crazy impactful. And just everything was crazy in the ending. I like that they gave our boy the main character, I forget his name. It's not Shinji. that's even going. They gave him that 1v1 fight with the blood guy. I like that a lot. That went hard in the paint. A lot of times, sometimes these shows kind of cheapen our main characters 1v1 fights, where because their fights are always involved in the overall plot, they don't resolve with just a dirty knockdown drag out. Where that's what we got, on top of the animation being fire as fuck. Naruto, 90%, the only one fight he gets is with Pain, and then it doesn't end in a knockdown drag out. Same thing with Ichigo. He gets kind of robbed his final fight in the beginning with Byakuya, and then he gets robbed a little bit. He even gets robbed a little bit at the end with Yhwach of the series. He just kind of gets robbed a couple times. He only gets a couple of knockdown drag out fights. But yeah, everything in the show is good. They're setting up the thing with, and this is where I'm going to start forgetting the names, the summoning jutsu Sasuke in the show. His dad, that's the Might guy of the series, where he doesn't have powers, but he's strong and fast. I don't know where they're going with that, what they're doing with that. I don't know kind of the direction they're taking and how it's going to impact the rest of the series. I'm assuming they're planning something. I don't know if I'm down for that yet. Everything that happened was cool, but so far I don't see how it's going to push the story forward. So I really hope it doesn't distract from the rest of the series, and maybe that's the thing people are unhappy about. I don't know. They sealed Gojo, just like I said they would. I know they had alluded that was going to happen early in the show, but I'm not a fan of the ceiling thing. I don't like it. But then again, how they did it with, they dog walked our main characters. The bad guys really dog walked them, and they gave the audience a sense of impending doom and danger, where they made these villains a real threat. So even with the ceiling thing, we have enough dread and enough consequences, or a sense of consequences, where it feels like a really, really big deal. It seems like our main characters are screwed. And one of the reasons I don't like the ceiling thing is, if you seal a character, he will then get unsealed at some point. So he's either going to get unsealed and resolve the issue, or he's going to get unsealed, contribute in some way, and then die immediately. Those are really the only two ways to handle it. Because then if he gets unsealed and then continues the show as usual without the main characters losing anything, then it feels like, and that just feels like it would be a waste. So that's the reason I don't like sealing. If anybody was wondering why I was harping on that in the other video. But yeah, I'm super excited to finish the series. Animation is so good. I don't know if the anime is even over. I might have to finish with the manga, and if that's true, I'll just finish reading the manga. It doesn't bother me. But that's it. The Shibuya arc goes hard in the paint, like everybody says. You guys are right, and I'm sorry.